Today, Jason and I want to talk about how both of us went to saving $50 a month into investments and retirement, and how we got to it today where we save over $1,000 a month. Let's dive in. All right, Jason, we can think back 15, 20 years ago when we first got started investing. Do you remember how much you were investing per paycheck?
Yeah, well, I remember all kinds of different scenarios, but when I first started investing, it was like, $50 a paycheck. But I remember a time that I was even investing only $25 a month because it was like, I just got to do something. I was deeply in debt. I had all kinds of stuff going on. I wasn't in control of my spending, but I just had this urge, like, I know I need to be saving for my future. So if I can only squeeze out $25 a paycheck or $25 a month, I got to do it. And while that was a win at the time because I felt good about it, it really isn't the solution to my retirement problems. I'm sure you have the same story.
Yes, I actually started investing into my company's retirement options when I still a student, so still going to college. I was an intern, so I was racking up debt as I'm investing. I still had debt everywhere. I wanted to go on holidays. I wanted to celebrate that I'm about to graduate college. I was trying to do everything at once. And yes, I think it was $20 a paycheck, maybe even less. But I like to round up. Let's say it was $20 a paycheck. The moral of that was that's what we did, and we learned what you should do if you're just getting started. And that's why we teach the 5 steps to financial freedom. We want you to be focused on getting out of debt, be focused on having 3 to 6 months of expenses saved for an emergency fund, and then be focused on investing. Because if we asked you, if you've never invested before, like us, when we first got started, and we just got a raise and we got a bonus check of 10 grand, are we going to invest that? No. I'm not even sure I would have paid off my debt, to be honest. But following those steps, that's what we want you to do. We want you to follow those steps in order, even though we didn't when we got started. But because we did that, we know that that way works better because doing too many things at once, nothing was getting accomplished.
Yeah. Think about it. I mean, the whole reason we're talking about this right now is because if you think about it and do the math, if you're only saving $50 a month, how fast is that generating retirement income? It's not. It's not that fast. That's why I said like $25 a paycheck or $50 a month or whatever it's going to be is not the solution to your retirement problems. You're not going to be able to have enough money in retirement saving $50 a month. Now, $50 is better than zero, which is what a lot of people do. So congratulations if you are putting money in there. But how do you go from $50 a month to 500 to 1,000 to 2,000? And when you get your house paid off, you're putting in $5,000 a month in your investments. How would that feel? And then you do some of that math, and then that is going to exponentially get you the income really quickly that you need so that you can live your ideal life, retire early, all the things that you want to do.
We'll get back to the episode in just a second, but we wanted to give you a gift just for being here today. Thank you so much. We've got a 3-part video workshop absolutely free for you. This workshop is designed to help you get organized with your money so that you can give yourself a 10% raise. When you give yourself a 10% raise, you are going to have more money. And when you have more money, we will show you exactly what to do with that money so that you can get on the path to financial freedom and start living your life, your ideal life today. You're going to learn how to get out of debt. You're going to learn how to save money. You're going to learn how to free up money so that you can invest for your future. If you're unfulfilled with life, whether it be at work, in your personal life, or with your money, then this is the workshop for you. Visit sentinelcoaching.com/raise. That's sentinelcoaching.com/raise, or click the link in the description. Now, back to the episode.
So how do you do that?
Yeah, I love it. And I believe it's making a decision. Decide today. Decide that you're going to get out of debt by not going further into debt. Decide you're going to invest. If you're going to invest with your next paycheck or whatever source of income you have, decide, make that decision and set up the account. Is it with a 401k? Is it with your company? Is it an IRA with Vanguard or Fidelity? Is it that you're going to set up a brokerage account and put money into it, link it to your bank account? You have to take one, decide, then take the action.
Yeah. And we cover this all in our investing course, so you can check that out. But the idea here is, how do you get from a place where you're only investing $50, or maybe you're not investing at all because you have that debt, because you are disorganized with your money, right? We have a budgeting course and a debt elimination course and an investing course. We have these resources for you so that you can actually learn what you need to learn to get from a place where you're at 0 or $50 a month to where you're at 500, to where you're at $1,000 a month, right? It's not a snap your fingers and there you are. It is a process. It is a learning process so that you can go from step A to step B to step C to step D and so on and so forth. You can't just jump to the end of the alphabet. It doesn't work that way. So let's give you one practical tip on how what's something you can do today, literally today, not today as in like this season of life, today that you could do to go. Let's say you or us in our 20s and we were investing $50 a paycheck or $50 a month. What can I do today? Practical put in my life so that I can get to the place that I'm putting in $500 a month or $1,000 a month into my investments. What is one thing or two things, Mike, that you say today you could do this and get to that place?
What I had to do, what I had to hear at that time was to get out of debt simply by never going back in. I had to make that decision. It was the hardest thing. I'll tell you, the hardest thing I had to do once I made that decision was to pause my investment, even though it was $50 a month. Pausing that, investing into my 401k to put that extra 50 or $100 or whatever it was at the time towards my debt was the hardest thing I ever did. But it motivated me. It lit a fire under me because I wanted to get done with that even faster so I can get back into the compound interest of investing.
Yeah.
It motivated me to do that. What did I do? I ended up with two or three jobs. I had a full-time job and two part-time jobs, and I was selling stuff. I was getting out of debt. Therefore, after that, once I completed that, I got to invest.
Yeah. And those actions that you decided and then took action turned into you being a millionaire. Right. And that's one of those things. Like, I had to do that. You got out of debt, you started saving, you started investing, and now you can actually say, yeah, I have you become a millionaire. And that is fantastic. That is the power of that motivation. I would say for me, the biggest thing was to have a plan for my money that was outgoing, because so many times, and I see this with all my clients, I see this with me, I see this everywhere, is that people aren't intentional about the money that goes out, right? We have money that comes in and then, well, gosh, it's gone. I spent it on something. What did I spend it on? I can't remember. Like, how did that much money go away? I make some decent money, right? I lived in California, I lived in Toronto, now I live in Vancouver, and it's expensive places, but I see people all the time that make really good money and they don't even know where it goes.
Hmm.
And so if that's the case, if that's you, just like me, I would say, Jason, have a plan, which is budgeting, right? Cash flow management, whatever you want to call it, some kind of system to say, what do you really want to spend your money on? Go spend your money on the things that you really want to, that are important for you, and then stop spending money on the stuff that really doesn't matter to you, right? You just spend money on whatever thing that happens. And it's like, I wouldn't choose to spend that again. So let's stop the leakage over here so that we can actually have more money to do the things like paying off debt, saving, and investing. That's like the biggest thing for me, is having that intentional plan to not spend money where you shouldn't be spending money.
Yes, and that's why Jason and I created the courses that we have. We have a budgeting course for you and investing, which you can get and go to right now. It's worth the money. Spending a few $100s to learn everything that we've learned over the 20 years we've been doing this
Yeah.
in one place over a few hours, man, that's going to 20-fold
Yeah.
your investment.
Yeah.
So that is also encouragement. I, in my 20s, was too cheap to do that, but I wish I would have had the mentorship for someone to motivate me or even to have them go through it with me. If I had a friend that we both want to learn this, go in there, jump in there together, and we can split the cost.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that in my 20s.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a million today, but I guarantee you I would have two had I gone through this stuff.
Yeah, so you can say that that investment of a few $100s would have turned into $1 million, right?
Correct.
If you do the work, of course, not just learn it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So put the investment in yourself. Put the investment in yourself. Put the investment, like, decide today, here's what I want to do with my life. And it'll astronomically change your life. We'll see you in another video.